Hello Red Dragons, this is just a quick review video of what we've been working on in classes lately for Mondays and Tuesdays. For the orange, yellow, and green belts, we've been working on a newer line drill technique called the high knife hand block. So just for a little review, hands start in a diamond, put them on your hip, block across your face. This is going out to the side, so it's very similar to like an inside-outside block. If you took the cross away, open your hand and turned it. The other hand's going right in front of your solar plexus. It's not touching. Elbows and fingertips make a nice straight line. So we're going from this side and then switching over to the other. Okay, so that's our high knife hand block. When you add the steps to it, we do this in what's called fighting stance. So not like your regular guard stance. You want to take your feet, make it L shape with them, and bend both knees. You're sitting back more on your back leg. So moving forward, you chamber, step, go into your fighting stance and block. Then we chamber to the front hip, step, and block. Front hip, step, and block. Also for orange, yellow, and green, we're working a little bit on our boxing techniques. Just remember the difference in your stances. You have your regular guard stance, you have your forms fighting stance, you have your sparring stance, which is very sideways, and then your boxing stance is basically straight forward. So squaring up from your shoulders and hips, body's going straight, belt knot's going straight, feet are basically under your shoulders. You just slide your right foot back a little bit, put your hands up. It's like you're looking in between your hands, okay? When we have our boxing gloves on, they should be touching our face at all times. And when one hand is throwing the punch, jab for instance, the other hand is on your cheek. This is probably the most important concept that we want the kids to learn right in the beginning here. Keep your hands up by your head. Always have one touching, okay? Moving on to the purple, blue, and brown belts, we've been working on a couple line drills as well that are newer for you guys. Number one is your spear hand. So very similar to your knife hand. Fingers are tight, but hands are open, and thumbs are bent on the side here. So from here, you're gonna take one hand, and you're gonna block down. It's straight across, elbow to fingertips. As you do this block down in front of you, the other hand's gonna chamber on your side. And then from there, we just spear over the top. So a spear is like a punch if you opened your hand and turned it. It goes exactly the same way, nice and straight. So it's not coming down or across or flicking out like this. It's going straight forward like a punch. So we block, and we strike over. Then the striking hand blocks, pull the other hand back. This is called your spear hand. When we do this moving in our line drills, we do it with a front stance. So we're gonna block and chamber, step, and spear. And the elbow is right over top of your wrist. Then we switch. It's always front hand does the block, back hand pulls, and then you step and strike right over the top. Notice how it's not out here. I'm hitting a target right in line with me that looks exactly like me, same size, same height, so it's right in line with my solar plexus, here and here. Feels a little different because it's angled in, but that's how it needs to be done. The other one is an X block. So we take our hands, we make fist, we chamber them on, say, the right side. If they're on the right hip, the right hand goes on top. Every time we switch hands as well. So right side, right hand, left side, left hand. Low X block goes straight down the middle, okay, right in line with the belt. We bring it back to the same hip, open up the hands, X block over the head. Fingers pointing up, hands are open. Then we chamber to the other side and switch the hand on top. Low and high. And switch, low and high. Moving forward in your stances with this one, we start in our chumbi. We chamber over to one hip. We step with the opposite side, make a front stance. Low X block, come out of the stance for a split second, and readjust right back with our high X. Chamber to the front hip, C step, 1, pull back, 2. And one more, front hip, C step, 1, 2. Lastly, for kicks, we've been working a lot on our spinning hook kick because that's what we're gonna be using in the next week or so for our take aim competition. When you guys do your hook kick, there's many ways to do it. Breaking boards, hitting targets, sparring hook kick, or the hook kick for like hitting the bottle cap or the dodgeball, which is a little bit more surface area. We wanna point our toes. So first of all, we get our toes pointed straight out like this. Again, if we were doing a regular hook kick, we'd have those toes pulled back so we can hit with our heel. We're bringing up to the side of our target with a straight leg, and then we bend it back towards our butt. At the end of this kick, the knee should be facing towards the target. And like all kicks, we want to try to not have our hands fly, our body twist out of line, just kind of bringing it straight across. For more advanced, we were doing the spinning hook kick. So we're turning and spotting our target, and then we try to get to that same position so we can throw that same exact hook kick. If we started too early, it either becomes a wheel kick or we just completely miss our target altogether. So set your stance, turn and spot, look at your target, push your hip, and then throw your kick. Okay? And then when you get a little more comfortable, you just do it. Turn your head and throw your kick. All right, guys, well, there you go. In classes, we'll be reviewing that, learning a little bit more, and we'll see you then.